their sides have to be straight lines. Any other ideas? Yes, they have to be 2D. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a polygon. Not necessarily 3 sides. That would be a triangle, which is a type of polygon, but other polygons can have more than 3 sides. Yeah.
I mean, like, it can't have 2 or 1, but it can have more than 3. Is what I
yes. So at least 3 sides. Okay. So basically, in order for us to tell the difference between a regular and an irregular polygon, we look at the length of their sides and the measure of their angles. So basically, a regular polygon is going to have side lengths that are all equal. So for example, a square would be an example of a regular polygon, but a rectangle actually wouldn't, because the lengths of its sides aren't equal. And also the measure of its angles has to be equal too, because no, and in that case, a rhombus wouldn't be regular because it doesn't have equal angles. So a regular polygon has equal sides that are equal length and angles that are equal measures. So over to the left, we have some examples of regular polygons. So an equilateral triangle is the polygon with the smallest number of sides. It just has 3 sides, and all of its angles are 60 degrees. And a square has 4 sides, angles are 90 degrees. Then you have pentagons, hexagons, heptagons, which have 7 sides, octagons, which have 8 sides, nonagons, which have 9 sides, decagons, which have 10 sides. And you probably notice as we go down the list, the shapes start to look more like circles. Yeah. So basically, as you get more and more sides, it starts to kind of like become a circle, if you know what I mean. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So the thing is, like, there's actually a pattern to the angle measure and the number of diagonals a shape will have. So basically, there is a formula that lets you calculate the angle measure of each angle. So that formula is circled down there. So if n is the number of sides you have, then the angle measure of each angle in the polygon is going to be 180 times n minus 2 divided by n. So let's just do like one practice problem. So if I don't know how to say 11agon, but let's just say there's a shape with 11 sides.
You could do a dodecagon.
Or okay, let's just do dodecagon. So let's say you have a dodecagon, so that means 12 sides. So what would be the angle measure of one of its angles? And the formula is circled. Dodecagon. So 12 sides. Yeah, so the answer would be 150, because using that formula, we would substitute 12 for n. So we would write 12 minus 2 times 180 and then divided by 12. And so that's 1,800 divided by 12. So that tells us that each angle is going to have a measure of 150 degrees. Okay, and the other thing that's kind of, the other thing that you can calculate is the number of diagonals in a shape. So basically a diagonal is like a line that goes from like one vertex to another vertex, but like it isn't a side. So it passes through the inside of the shape. So for example, a square, it has 2 diagonals. A pentagon has 5 diagonals, and so on. So it might not look like there is a formula for this, but there actually is. So for a shape with n sides, the number of diagonals it has is this formula circled in the purple. So it would be n times n minus 3 divided by 2. So for a dodecagon, how many diagonals would it have? Remember, dodecagon is 12 sides. Yeah, I see some answers in the chat. So for this one, you would again plug in 12 for n. So it'd be 12 times 12 minus 3 divided by 2, which is 12 times 9 divided by 2. So that equals 54. So this tells us that a dodecagon has 54 diagonals, which is probably a good thing that we have this formula to tell us that, because otherwise it would be kind of difficult to count all of those diagonals. Any questions so far? Okay, then. Yes. Okay, so so far we've talked about normal shapes like regular polygons. So what are weird or irregular shapes? So what do you guys think an weird or irregular shape is? And if you can give some examples, that would also be cool. A trapezoid. Ooh, that's a good one. I actually did not think of that, but yes, a trapezoid is technically irregular, an irregular polygon, because it does not have the same length sides, and it does not have its angles are not equal measures. Yeah, a rhombus, cone. A cone would be sort of like an irregular 3D shape, but yeah, it would also be kind of a weird shape. Rectangle, technically, yes, a rectangle is an irregular polygon. Curved TVs. If you mean like a shape that has like a curve in it, then yes. Scaling triangle, absolutely, because that doesn't have equal sides. Right triangles, yep. Pentagon, if they don't have the same length sides, then they would be irregular. And isosceles triangle, yeah. I think so far you guys have all been mentioning shapes that are kind of, I guess, they still like, how about I'll just show you a couple. So oh yeah, a star, that's a good one. So like stars are interesting because they have like an angle that is greater than 180 degrees. So basically a weird or irregular shape is like any shape that has like sides and angles of any length and any size, and they aren't equal. So for example, you have like a scaling triangle, somebody mentioned that. You have a rectangle, you have a pentagon that has sides of different lengths. And as you get more sides, what you can end up doing is that some of the angles are greater than 180 degrees, and they become something that's called, I think it's called concave. It's basically where you have a concave shape is like a shape that has an angle that's greater than 180 degrees. And I think they're typically like irregular. So here, those are just a couple of examples. So all of these have like the correct number of sides. So like the top right shape is still a hexagon. It's just that the lengths of the sides are different, and the measure of the angles are also different. So.
Okay, so how do we find the area of said irregular 2D shapes? So there's some general steps to follow. And what you can do is, so you already know how to find the area of regular shapes. Like you know how to find the area of a square or a triangle. So what you're going to do is you're going to divide the irregular shape into smaller shapes that you know, and then just add them or subtract them until you get what you need. So you can see here is an ice cream cone, and we can think of it, okay, it doesn't look exactly like a semicircle, but we can think of it as a triangle with a semicircle on top. So just like imagine that it's exactly a semicircle. Okay, so let's do this as an example. So let's say the diameter of the circle is 6 and the height of the triangle is 4. Then what would be the combined area of the ice cream? So let's start off with the semicircle. So what is, yes. So semicircle area, that would be 1/2 of like a regular circle. So 1/2 pi r squared. And then radius or r is 3. So that would be 1/2 pi times 3 squared. And then multiplying that out, you get 9/2 pi. Okay, and then for the triangle, that would be 1/2 base times height. Some of you might be wondering, like, where did you get the base from? That would just be like the diameter of the circle. So yeah, and then 1/2 times 6 times 4. Yeah. And then, so like you guys are saying, it would be 9/2 pi plus 12. So great job to all of the people in chat following along.
Should I click?
Oh no, like just like skip the rest of the slides.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay. I can do this one. Or wait, Angela.
Okay, so now that you've tried something, this is a little different. So how would you like calculate the area of this shape? So like, you know how to divide it. So like, how would you divide it up?
So basically, what shapes would you use?
Yeah, so you would use triangles and squares. So like, basically you would just draw lines connecting it into like one square with like 4 smaller triangles like coming off of it. And then basically how you would calculate this is that you would basically calculate the area of the square. So that would be 3 by 3, and that will give you 9. And then you can either think of it as like those triangles as like an actual triangle. So you can do 1/2 2 times 1, or you could think of it as like each of those triangles makes 1/2 of a unit square. So that would just be 4 of them. So that would give you 4. So 9 plus 4 would give you 13.
Okay, I can do this problem. Okay, in the diagram below, the diameter of each of the 2 smaller circles is the radius of the larger circle. If the 2 smaller circles have a radius of 1 centimeter each, what is the area of the shaded region? Okay, so remember when you're doing any geometry problem, and remember area and volume are, well, yeah, are technically geometry. Remember you need to label your diagrams. So this one is labeled. So that's good, but yeah. Okay, so I'm seeing some answers in the chat. So first, so you know the diameter of each of those is the radius of the larger circle. So that means that since the diameter is 2, the radius of the larger circle is 2, right? So that means that the area or the area of the larger circle is 2 squared pi, which is just 4 pi. And then we want to find the area of the shaded region. So we find the area of one of the circles and multiply by 2 because we know they're equal, since the diameter of each is the radius of the circle, of the larger circle. So that means they have the same diameter and therefore the same area. So we do 1 squared times pi times 2. So that's just 2 pi, right? And we are left with 4 pi minus 2 pi, which is just 2 pi. And that is the area of the shaded region. So yeah, everyone got it correct. Remember, like right now while we're doing it, just put it in exact form. So say pi rather than multiplying it by 3.14. Just because, yeah, it's easier to just leave it in exact form. And practice problem 3. So sometimes you'll need to extrapolate from the evidence given to find the area. So in the following problem, a shape consisting of a semicircle, an isosceles triangle, and a square are given. If the radius of the semicircle is 6, what is the total area of the shape? Express your answers in terms of pi. So it already gives us the shapes to divide it into, so that's a hint. So okay, I'm going to give you all 2 minutes to do the problem. And also just another note, when it says express your answer in terms of pi, that always means like exact form, right? If it doesn't say that in a math chance problem, it'll say something like express your answer as a decimal rounded to the nearest tenth or something along those lines. So just remember to put your answer in the right format, because you will get it wrong even if you have the right answer if you put it in the wrong format for math. So I am seeing 2 different types of answers. So one of them is correct. Okay, so the shape consists of a semicircle, an isosceles triangle, and a square. So we can use this line to divide everything into the 3 parts, right? So we know the radius of the semicircle is 6, right? So this entire red length is just 12, right? And we know that this is 6, since that is the radius, right? So we know that this shape is a square. And when I said you need to extrapolate from the evidence, so because we know that this is a square, you'll also know that both of the sides are the same length. All of the sides are the same length. So you do 6 squared to find the area of this, which is just 36. And then you solve for the area of the semicircle. So the radius is 6. So you do 6 squared pi divided by 2, which is 36 pi divided by 2, which is just 18 pi, right? And then lastly, we have to find the area of the isosceles triangle. So in order to find the area of a triangle, you do base times height. So although it might originally seem like when you're given the question that you don't have the length of the height, because you can see that they bring the point of the triangle all the way down to, or the vertex of the triangle all the way down to like align with the base of the square. The square and the triangle both have the same height. So the height of this triangle would be 6, right? And the base of this triangle would also be 6, right? Because as we said earlier, the radius of the semicircle is 6. So we do 6 times 6 divided by 2 to find the area of this triangle, and we get 18, right? So now we do 36 plus 18, which is 54 plus 18 pi, because that's 18 pi. So 18 pi plus 54, or 54 plus 18 pi, is correct. Okay. In the chat, there were a lot of people who put plus 48. I don't understand if it was like 1 or 2 or 3 people. But I think y'all are copying each other. So like, please don't. You know, you won't learn from this if you copy other people. So yeah. I like actually do it properly. And okay. Last, okay, wait, not last. Okay. And okay, so now that we've investigated 2D shapes that are irregular, sorry. Okay, what are some examples of irregular 3D shapes? So remember how when we had irregular 2D shapes, those were they didn't have the same side lengths, or they didn't have the same angle measures. So yeah, a pyramid. So if every pyramid except one that would have a equilateral triangle base would be irregular. A rectangular prism, yeah. So any rectangular prism that isn't a cube. A triangular pyramid, as long as the like sides aren't all equilateral. Yeah. Right, prisms, cones, pyramid. Yeah, those blocks of different shapes that combine to make a cube. Well, tetrahedron, if it's irregular, so technically, a normal tetrahedron is not irregular. But if you have like weird sides for a tetrahedron, yeah, it's normal to not know a lot of 3D shapes. Everyone just, not everyone, but some people are just putting irregular in front of like shape names. And like, I guess that makes them irregular, but like, yeah. Irregular squares totally exist. Okay, so we can find the area of some irregular 3D shapes. So in the chat, or not area, volume. What is the volume of the shade circled in blue? Like not cyan, but blue. The dark one, not the light one.
We're just talking about Tetris.
Right. Okay. I'm seeing like one person putting in answers. Shouldn't be that hard to count. Right. Okay. So the dark blue one is 8. So we can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So assuming that there are like cubes behind the ones given in the red shape, like so you know the tallest part of it, assuming there are 2 below that, where you like can't see them right now, but they're there. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but what's the volume of that? The red one. Right, it's 9. So there would be 2 which you can't see, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna do one more and then move on. What's the yellow one? The area, the volume of that. Right, the volume of the yellow one is 5. You can count again. So 5. Okay, so just like irregular 2D shapes, irregular 3D shapes exist in math problems and are made out of existing regular shapes you're already familiar with. So in this example, or what we just did, they were made out of cubes. But in other scenarios, like, I don't know, an ice cream cone, they'd be made out of like hemispheres and cones. So yeah.
Okay, so let's do an example. Going back to our lovely ice cream cone. So type in the chat how you would divide this ice cream cone up. Like what shapes would you divide it into? All right, remember we're talking in 3D here. So yes, so we would do like the ice cream part as a hemisphere or half of a sphere. And then we would also have the cone part as, of course, a cone. And yeah, the formulas are going to be very, very important here. Okay, so let's start with the sphere. So, okay, I see that you remember the formula for the volume of a sphere. It is 4/3 pi. It is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, and then remember the diameter of the sphere is 6 and the height is 4. The height of the cone is 4. So if the diameter is 6, then the radius would be 3. So using our sphere formula, that would be 4/3 pi times 27. Okay, so what do we get for the volume of the sphere? Oh yeah, hemisphere. Yep, and then you would divide that by 2 to get the volume of the sphere. I mean, the hemisphere, sorry. Perfect, so 18 pi. And then now we're going to do the cone. So that would be, for that formula, 1/3 pi r squared h. That'd be 1/3 times pi times 3 times 3 times 4. And then you would get, yep, 12 pi. So then our final answer, what is our final answer for the volume of the ice cream cone? I see that Charles put it in. Oh yeah, and okay, good job. Good job, you guys. We get 30 pi.
Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, we are going to do another problem. So let's say that every day I have to take this pill, the capsule shaped pill, which is shown here. So I'm just curious. So I want to find the volume of this little pill. So what 3D shapes would you have to divide this capsule into? Yes, you would split it into two hemispheres and a cylinder, and the hemispheres are just tacked onto the ends of the cylinder. So yeah, just like that. So oh, you can move on to next. Okay, so let's just say that I figured out that the radius, I measured the capsule and the radius was 3 and the height was 5. Oops, it's showing the sphere volume, but that's okay. So the thing is, the total volume of the capsule is going to be the volume of like the 2 hemispheres plus the 1 cylinder. But because there's 2 hemispheres and because they have like the same like radius, then that means it's really just 1 sphere. So we can just treat it as 1 sphere. So the volume of the sphere, which is being shown on the screen, is 4/3 pi r cubed. And since I know the radius of the sphere is 3, then it'd be 4/3 times pi times 27. So that would be 36 pi. And for the cylinder one, the cylinder is just basically base times height. So pi r squared h. So yeah. So for the cylinder, the base is a circle. So you would just do pi r squared, which should be pi times 3 times 3, and then times the height of 5. So pi times 3 squared times 5. And that would give us 45 pi. So now our last step is to sum them together. So what's the total volume of this pill capsule? Yep, it would just be 81 pi. So that would be our answer.
Okay. So we have this house. So based on the diagram, what shapes are we dividing it into firstly? And they are 2 prisms. Right, triangular prism and rectangular prisms are the ones we're dividing them into. So remember for prisms, we find the area of the base times the height. So technically you could just assume this is some weird pentagonal prism, which it is, and find the area of the base, which is like the pentagon, or you divide it into 2 shapes. It's both of them are perfectly valid. So what is the area of the base of the triangular prism? And by base, I mean the triangular base. Remember, it's a triangle, so, and I'm just asking for the basis area at this moment of the triangular prism. Good job, iPad. So yes, it's 75. So it's 10 times 15, right, as the area of the base divided by 2 because it's a triangle, right? And that's just 5 times 15, which is 75, right, as the base. And we multiply that by 50. And okay, let me just do some quick math here. So 75 times 50 would be equal to
3750.
Yeah. 3750. Okay, so wait, sorry, let me write that. But So now what would the area of the rectangular prism's square base be? Good job. It is 225. So now we do 225, which is just 15 times 15 multiplied by the height, which is 50, right? So 50 times 225 is equal to 11250. 50 is the height because we're assuming that like we're kind of for the okay, so because these are so I said that the base would be the part, okay, no, it would be this part that I'm shading in red, right? Because for a triangular prism, the base is just the triangle, right? For any other prism that isn't a rectangular prism, you find the base, there's like a base that's in the name. It's the one you have to find as the base to find the volume, right?
So basically, if you're getting a little confused, basically we were calculating the area of the triangle and multiplying it by 50. And then we were calculating the area of the square and multiplying it by 50. So we're basically the front of the house is the base. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Just think of it as if we just turned the house, because we
you
felt
basically
like,
flip the house onto its side.
right, like how I drew it, but my drawing is bad. So yeah. Okay. So we would add 3750 and 11250, right? So we'd get 15,000 as the volume of the house, not the area, the volume. So it would be 15,000 feet cubed. So yeah. The answer is 15,000 feet cubed.
Okay, so now let's look at some other types of 3D shapes. So these are called the Archimedean solids. So basically these are 13 solids that were discovered by the Greek mathematician Archimedes, I think. That's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. But like based off of like the pictures, they're kind of like, they're like semi-regular because they're made out of like regular polygons, but like the polyhedra, which is like the 3D version of itself, is like not exactly regular because there's like different types of polygons that are like put into one large polyhedra. And like if you look at some of these names, they're a little bit hard to pronounce, and that's why they're not like talked about as often, but like I think they're pretty cool.
Can I try
So like
pronouncing one?
if you want.
I try to pronounce.
Rhombicubooctahedron.
Small rhombus coidododecahedron.
Bro, what is a small
have all the-
rhombus? It doesn't even say a rhombus on there.
We have all these fancy names, and then we just have the snub cube.
No,
Snub dodecahedron.
Cubo.
Bro, what's a snub cube?
It's a very cool cube.
Who came up with that?
The great rhombicuboctahedron.
It's rhombicubooctahedron.
It's the great
Rhombi-
rhombicubooctahedron.
The great
The
rhombicuboctahedron.
3 people pronounced it right now.
Rhombicuboctahedron.
Hey, try the great rhombicubooctahedron.
Which one?
Great
Rhombicosodecahedron.
Rhomba.
Rhombicosodecahedron.
rhombicosahedron. That's it.
Whoever thought of these?
We're all
must
dying
have,
trying
like,
to
a
pronounce the
really good-
names.
Let's hear the teachers pronounce them.
Bro, the snub cube is like
Let's hear the teachers try to pronounce.
whoever made the snub cube is just like
I think the teachers will just.
The
make
person
up-
who made the snub cube was just like, hey, I don't like these big names. I'm just gonna make this random snub cube name.
They just put in all
Okay,
the
but-
effort in the first few and then gave up.
Okay, but how do we find the
small
area?
Okay, switch the slide.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's obviously the snub cube.
Okay, well, you
I
can
agree.
find the surface area the easiest because it's like regular polygons, but I'm not exactly sure how you find the volume because like different, because like these solids are basically like, think of it as like a kind of like an origami thing. So like if you cut these shapes out and then somehow like fold it and glued it together, you would get those polyhedra. So technically it's just like 2D shapes that are folded into like a 3D shape.
So, yeah. Okay. So we do have a Kahoot. If you all would like to do that, you know? Okay. And this is just on volume of weird shapes, and I'm pretty sure all of them are like easy.
It's at the top. Wait, Ishani, do the show questions and do the show questions and answers. Wait, okay.
You wait like a little bit.
Wait, Ishani, don't turn off autoplay. Turn off autoplay.
Why? What does it do?
It's going
I
to
just,
start by itself. No, turn it off. Turn it off.
wait, I just wanna.
It has a countdown, then it'll start by itself. It was gonna like start in 15 seconds.
Wow.
iPad's brother.
Bear other.
There are 12 people in this.
Wait for me.
Okay.
My pen is getting ready for ultimate breakdown.
Okay, there are 26 people right now in this Zoom call. So I should see at least 20 people in this Kahoot, right? You know?
Bro, are my phone? This is gonna be so hard.
I know, right? I know, right? It's gonna be so hard.
I think the answers will show up on your side. So
Yeah.
I bet someone's just gonna put the answers in the chat.
maybe.
Okay, there are 21 people. Congratulations on joining. We shall get started. So question 1, approximate the volume of the instrument case given the diagram, right? I'd just like to say I found these questions online. I didn't actually make them. I found them on another Kahoot for the first few. So yeah. But the next few questions are also the instrument case thing, but like different shapes.
The only thing you can do here is just guess.
I mean, you could always actually find the answer. You know, just pull out your mental
If you
calculator.
do that, you'll just lose points.
Right. Should we allow calculator?
Uh,
Come on, I didn't even open my calculator.
No calculator.
Bro, come on, calculator.
But no
Imagine-
calculator. You have
Imagine.
a million seconds for this.
Right. But at the same time, what's going to stop you? You know? So let's just say you can use a calculator.
I probably guessed the wrong answer because like it looks pretty big.
Mhm.
How is this thing even that big, bro? How big is this thing?
So, well, yeah,
Like who has a stick that's like 31 inches long?
I think that's a trombone. I'm probably wrong, but yeah, that's not a stick.
I thought it was a stick.
it's an instrument case.
Yeah.
It looks
Okay.
like a gun, a big gun.
Okay. Yeah, you have 10 seconds.
Whoever didn't answer right now.
Guys, it's
I don't-
blue.
I don't
Answer
think
blue.
The correct answer wasn't on there, I think. I don't know.
It's,
So I think it was on there.
yeah, it was the bottom left. A way you could have like done it is, okay, so the base thingy, right, it's a multiple of 10. So that means that the last digit of the base would be 0, like the rightmost digit. And then the top part is 8 times 4 times 31. So that would be like 32 times 31 plus 32 times 30, right? 32 times 30 would also have a last digit of 0. But 32 times 1 would have a last digit of 2. So the last digit of 2 would, the only one that fits that is the circle. Or you could actually do the math, you know?
You wouldn't get as much points though. You get like 600.
Right. So next time, just, you know, use logic. Jane is first, not James. Jane.
Jane. I picked red and I was like, no.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of people picked it. Okay, this is another instrument case, but now it's a tube.
How many people are in the game?
21, I think.
Some people are AFKing.
Yeah. Okay. Good job to everyone who got it. And I'm
Really?
assuming, yeah. I'm assuming the people who got green guess. But like hint, if it's the smallest answer, it usually is incorrect. Or if it's the biggest one, right? You could actually do the math, 14 times 14 times 6 plus 15 times 4 times 16. Or you could know that it would end in a 6 and know it's either blue or red. And then just like go off your emotions, you know, like which one gives you the right vibe, you know? Which is a great way to do math. Okay, good job to Jim in last place for being top 2. You can like visualize this as redistributing area. So it's just a rectangular prism with like a width thing of 18 instead of 12, 18, and 24. Right? So it'd be like, yeah. Maybe that helped some of you. Oof.
This isn't music class.
Right, but you know,
This ain't even an approximation class. I'm so bad at approximating.
yeah. Okay. Well, we can like visually like redistribute area, not visually, but like in our imagination. Okay. That is horrible. Okay. So like this and this. Imagine if we cut it off and place them here, right? Then that would just be a rectangular prism, right? Right, just think about it, right? So it would have dimensions of 18, 15 times 3, which is 45, and a height of 5. You'd multiply them together. And yeah. Technically, you aren't learning about instruments. Like, you know? Yeah. Okay, this is an actual figure rather than
Bro, why
an
did I
instrument.
leave?
Oh, okay, this one is actually easy. Like you should be able to do it. Yeah, calculating this one is easy because there's small numbers and like, you know, yeah, math.
You could do this one in your head.
Right.
Figure out your signs.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Only 2 people got this incorrect. So this right figure over here is 5 times 5 times 4, which is 25 times 4 or 20 times 5. And that's just 100 units. Okay, no, 100 units cubed. Then this is 7 times 4 times 4, which is, or sometimes 2 times 2, which is 7 times 4, which is 28.
Hours?
And 28 times, or plus 100 is 128. Ooh. iPad's brother has a streak with 4 correct answers. Congratulations. Yeah. First place and last place are the opposite of their names, apparently. Again, we could think about redistributing the area. Also, if you all have a calculator, I don't think it should be taking you 2 minutes for this, genuinely speaking. So when it goes, so at 1 minute, I will just click skip because like it should not take you that long if you have a calculator. Imagine if you like divided this, there would be 3 rectangular prisms of the same size, right? Oh, I mean, you shouldn't have to look at this screen. Your phone or whatever you're doing it on should be showing the question. So we could just take this, right? And imagine if we put it here, right? You know, so it's like this and this and so on and so forth, right? That would be a rectangular prism. It would have a height of 3. It would have a width of 6 plus 3, which would be 9. And that would be 9 times 3 times 10, which is 270, which is the green. So yeah. Wow, A is in first place. Good job. I'm done now. Okay, so the answer is 122. And okay, wait. Okay, so they all have the same heights, right? And in order to find the volume of rectangular prisms, you do base times height, right? The area of the base times the height. So we can add up the bases, right? And multiply it by 2, which is the height of each, right? So 6 times 6 is 36, plus 4 times 4, which is 52, plus 9, which is 3 times 3. 52 plus 9 is 61. 61 times 2 is 122 units. So yeah, good job. 8 is still in first place. Good job, Advika, for having the highest answer streak. Now this one involves circles, or semicircles, and actual math. So I'm slightly concerned for Aryan in the chat. Yeah, just slightly.
It's probably because remember, our theme is like things you probably haven't learned in school, and I don't think you guys have learned geometry in school yet.
Right.
But look, you'll get better at it. Yeah.
Remember, you all have the full 2 minutes. Like, you have 14 more seconds to make a miracle happen, or not. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Well,
my god.
One person.
This was tough.
1 in
It was.
4?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever guessed this was Chota B on crack. That's true.
Okay. So the 2 arcs in the diagram are semicircles with diameters of AB equals 1 and CD equals radical 2. So that means that this, okay, right. So if the radius, if the diameter is radical 2, then this is radical 2 over 2, right? That's the radius, right? Then this would also be radical 2 over 2, and AB would be equal to 1, right? So we know that this would be like 2 right triangles, right? Because if you divide a triangle using an altitude, or if you divide an isosceles triangle in half, it will be 2 90-degree or right triangles, right? So we have 2 triangles that essentially look like this, that are radical 2 over 2 as the hypotenuse and have 0.5 as the base, or 1/2, right? So we'd square the hypotenuse and the base, right? We'd use Pythagorean theorem. We'd get x squared plus 1/4 is equal to 2/4, right? So that just means x is 1/4, or x squared is 1/4, so x is 1/2, right? And since x is 1/2, that means the area of this total like pink region right over here would be equal to 1/2 times 1/2 divided by 2 multiplied by 2. Since there are 2 triangles, but the area of a triangle is 1/2 of base times height. right? So that would just be 1/4 as the area of that, right? And now that we know that this and this are the same, right? That means that we know that the triangle thing that was like this, right, had this as a right angle, right? I'm pretty sure, yeah, it did, because it was divided into two triangles, and this had 45 degrees, because remember 45-degree triangles, 45, 45, 90-degree triangles are the only triangles, right triangles, where it's like two equal sides. So yeah, this is a bit complex. Okay, so that would be 90 degrees. So we would find the area of a sector, right? Right of the sector that has a 90-degree angle thing, right? Okay, anyway, right? And then we would find this area and subtract it from this area. I feel like this is a bit complex.
I don't think this is a question that was very suitable for Kahoot.
Right, maybe not. Anyways, let me just finish the explanation.
Whoever got this right was like guessing.
God tier intelligence.
Everyone got attracted to the square root part. Like everyone was like, oh, it's square root of 2 because
Yeah,
it's a
square
circle.
roots are always attractive in circle questions.
Yeah.
Basically, I usually just pick the ones that look the most complicated.
Right.
That does not work all the time.
It definitely did not work this time for anyone except that one person.
Actually,
Okay.
yellow is my
That one
favorite color,
person
so I should have just guessed yellow.
That one person guessed.
Remember, this has like semicircles in it, and the yellow one had a circle as the shape. You should have guessed it. It showed in
It
so
literally took 5 minutes to explain this.
Right. Anyways, so basically, yeah, it's 1/4. It would be better if you had a pencil or paper, and you know, yeah, that was great.
It was not anyone in the top 5.
Right. This one should be easier, I'm hoping.
Another attractive answers. I feel like yellow is in a lot of questions, like that one answer.
Right.
Wait, wasn't it this like on unit 1? Like when we did a bunch of geometry?
Maybe.
Like circles.
Yeah, there was a similar question there. Maybe if you paid attention during that lesson, maybe you'll know how to do this question.
Yeah.
We were on like a jam board.
Yes, that one.
You know, if you like really are struggling and don't want to do the math.
Don't tell them the answer, Shawnee.
Yeah, I won't. Just guess something, you know?
I thought you were going to tell them the answer like you did last time.
That one was.
I feel like that was not a good decision.
Right, maybe. When there's 1 second left, I'll tell the answer.
I went with red, not gonna lie.
No, don't tell the answer at all. That's not.
I mean, I this is 75% incorrect. So
Right.
I don't think anyone should trust me.
You could actually pretty much solve this if you had
Alright.
big brains.
I'm gonna trust you.
There are gonna be a lot of people who get it wrong. Okay, I said 1 second. I'll say the answer. It's green. Okay.
I
don't
knew
think
it.
any-
Let's go. Let's
Oh
go.
my
It was
God.
green. It was green.
How?
Bro, this question was on the jam board. That same answer that Leon got on our team.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, the square has a side length of 8, right? So we can divide this in.
All right,
half,
goodbye. I quit.
Oof. Well, okay. Well, yeah, so you divide it into sectors, 90-degree sectors of a circle. You find the shaded area like this. You multiply it by 2, and you would get 32 pi, right? Wait, no, not 32 pi, right? It would, you'd get something, right? And then you'd subtract 64 from it. So, yeah, that was a very detailed answer, and yeah. You would actually no. So basically, there's probably a better way to visualize it. But right now, maybe not, because yeah, you all seem to be stumped with that Kahoot thingy, and maybe not liked it. Not just maybe. So yeah.
Who was last place?
It's A. I think, yes, it was A.
Who is A? It's not Amy. Audrey?
it's fine.
Okay. Who's last place?
Bro, last place got in third place. That doesn't make sense.
Who's
Bro, I
last
was
place?
first place in like 21st
Charlie?
place. Someone named themselves first place and they were in 21st place.
Yeah.
That's ironic. Okay, it looks like nobody got like the last 2 questions, but you guys got the other ones that were like more normal. The last 2 questions were very hard, so don't worry about it if you weren't able to do it, because I don't think anyone was able to do them.
I said the answer in the chat. If you listened to me, you would have got it right.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to do another Kahoot, or do we want to go into the other fun activity?
I want to do something else.
Something else or another Kahoot?
Not another Kahoot.
The Kahoot, by the way, the other Kahoot is easy. Like it's like rectangular prisms, like only one of them.
Kahoot?
It's like
Yeah, I also want to eat it.
Okay, we can do another Kahoot then.
okay. Let me pull up the link. It's gonna be more formula. Or not
It's
more
night in
formula.
India, okay? That's what I want to eat.
Are you in India?
Yes, my
Oh.
class is like 7:30 p.m. to 9 right now. Like I just
Oh.
sleep right after this class.
Oh, I mean, hope you're having fun in India. And don't get mosquito bites. Like wear a lot of repellent. That's the only thing I have to say.
0th place.
Zeroth place is the great. Your mom is. Okay.
Could you exit out of that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Identity theft.
Dad scooter. Okay. I need to keep track of this.
Sad scooter. Sad scooter.
Oh, why is there a second Kahoot?
It's easier.
it
It's
does
to give you a confidence boost.
There was an option to either go do another fun activity or do another Kahoot, and a lot of people said they wanted to redeem themselves in an easier Kahoot, so that's what we did.
Right, like
They want to redeem themselves in an easier Kahoot.
literally one of the questions is what is the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism? Like I think y'all are gonna
someone has
define.
impersonated me.
I think everyone knows that though.
Right. So the point is to be the fastest. Okay.
It's obviously
know where
it's
it is?
obviously pi radius cubed.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. It's like pi radius 2 squared of the V.
Pi radius cubed multiplied by the gravitational constant.
Right. Completely correct. I just like to say we told you the formula for the volume of a sphere earlier in class.
It's really easy to remember.
Yeah. It's easy. Just
Yeah.
search it up, guys.
Why would you search this up? There's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, you should remember it though.
Whoever got this wrong is really, really dumb.
Right. So it's 4/3 pi r cubed. We said that earlier. Yeah, that's the explanation. Good job to Sanvi and Advika for being top 2 and Shulk for being 3rd.
Formula for a cube.
Bro, why did I take so long?
Mhm. Okay, so it's the side length cubed, right? Yeah, you should know this.
Base times length, or length times width times height is also yes, but the
Who
thing
put
is
length times width?
base or length, width, height are all the same. So it's just the
Mm.
side length.
Man's thinking about
Oh my god,
speed.
Schlock and Advitha were exact.
Yeah, they were tied.
Clicking at maximum speed because they're so easy questions.
Yeah. The answer is obviously volume equals mx plus b.
Yeah.
Yes. Not obviously not a quadratic.
Right. Okay, so it is pi r squared h divided by 3, or 1/3 pi r squared h. Again, we went over this in class.
When you click too fast, you may get things wrong.
Right. Good job to Colin for being the
Like
highest
what I
climb.
just did.
Yeah.
Volume of a rectangular
This is
prism.
hard.
Yeah.
Bro, what type of question is this?
It's pi r squared h, everyone. Your life is a lie.
I actually need to pay attention because if I click one wrong, I'm basically done for the entire Kahoot.
Oof,
Yeah, I already clicked one wrong, so I died.
that's sad.
What
Well,
if there's
maybe
what if there's a trick question at the end?
there isn't, but you know what if?
I love trick questions.
Okay, so
That's the ones I always get for.
yeah, I mean, okay, so this is length times width times height. I'm disappointed in whoever actually clicked
In
pi
my
r
class,
squared
I'm
h.
always like second or third place or first place in Kahoots.
Mhm.
But I do so bad.
Volume of a cylinder. We talked about this in class.
I like,
Answer, why do you guys not write these down?
or at the very least, like use logic. Why would they give 2 measurements if they're not going to use both of the measurements in the formula? But, you know, it's the only one with both r and h, you know? So it's pi r squared h. It's the area of the base times the height, and the base is a circle, so pi r squared times height. Good job at Vika for remaining first place, and Squin for being the highest climber.
Rectangular pyramid.
Like the pyramids of Giza. Remember, for a pyramid or anything with a little pointy end that reminds you of a triangle, you do the base times the height divided by 3.
He just told them the answer.
Well,
Yo, I got
Not
it
even
wrong
a
just for fun. I got it.
Guys, it's pi r squared height divided by 2.
mhm.
Nah, bro, it's S squared.
Yes, s squared. Very correct. Okay.
Some people were thinking of
Oh
a
my god,
triangle.
how did I manage to get that wrong?
Ishani was trying to help you, but then she misled you because she said pointy thing at the end. And so she probably made some people think of a triangle.
Yeah.
What? I thought I got that wrong because she said that.
Well, yeah, it's length.
All right,
times
I'm
width
done
times
for.
height divided by 3.
Well, college just left.
Can I get a participation award?
Yes, you know,
Not possible.
participation awards. Hint, the answer is 6 times 5 times 11.
It's 55. Okay, 55.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 times 11. Don't even think about it. Who's good at multiplying stuff really fast?
Calculators.
No, I mean calculators are slower than us in this.
It
way.
depends on how fast you can type.
Right. It always
I click
depends on
really
the
fast. My clicks per second is like 13.
That is a lot. Can't relate. I am an old person when I type into my calculator. So, yeah.
Bro, Christina, I saw her like typing on her calculator like a keyboard.
That's how I
Literally,
type
like-
onto one of my calculators. I can type on this one fast just because I use it a lot,
Yeah.
but I can't type fast on TI.
Okay. TI
Google,
is
Google
easy.
calculator. Imagine using Google calculator.
Yeah. I think you all understand how to do this. For the person who put 55.
I think they're
Oh,
one of
I
the
think
people
someone
who have given
actually
up.
followed me when I said 55.
Right. The volume of the picture figure. It's a cylinder.
Wait.
Or well, yeah. Just imagine pi at the end
Yeah.
of each of those. You know? 5 squared times
Wait a
10.
second. I'm still
is
so
pi.
confused. The answer's not
What's
on
the right
there.
answer?
Actually,
Oh, use
rounded
a
up.
calculator. Use a calculator and use pi and round.
Yeah,
You can just approximate it pretty much.
right.
Or do that.
Or I could always give
So
them the
just-
answer.
No, don't do that. Sorry, that's that
Just
rude.
give it at like 5 seconds. It doesn't
Right.
even matter. I also use 3.14. It's obvious what it is. Just use 3.
Right.
You can just use 3 and figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, y'all. A few seconds
Whoever made
until
this
I
clue was
reveal the
pretty
answer.
stupid to incorporate 3.14.
Right. Okay. And the answer is red. No? Yeah. Okay, a lot of people.
Bro, who put 50?
Me, I'm the Giga Chad.
Oh.
Yes, sir, Giga Chad.
Well, yeah, I think that 50 is a bit off from the correct answer.
Bro, Mr. Crampton said Giga Chad was a bad word.
Oh, that is unique. This is a cone. That should be a hint. I'm very helpful. And again,
Bro,
it is-
come on, it has to be one difference.
Oh, thank you for telling me. I thought it was a dodecahedron.
right.
Nah,
You
bro, I
can
thought it was a
definitely use
cylinder.
your calculator for this.
I thought this
Although-
was a cube.
Yeah,
In the AP, oh no, never mind.
and the AP.
No, I had a sudden thought in, okay, we're just not gonna say AP right now.
Oh my god. Like
Is there at
6
least
days?
one Giga Chad in this classroom?
That Giga Chat probably put like 120. The logical answer, the only answer it could be.
The only answer could be 120.
Right. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's red. Would you look at that? Most people pick that
I
up.
actually got it wrong. I literally jinxed myself. Oh my god.
Ew.
Oh no.
A lot of people put
jinxed myself.
1,004. A lot of people put 1,004.
I
Just-
literally said it.
Yeah.
Probably because they, oh no, it might be because they use 3.14. I don't know.
No, yeah, those people probably 3.14. It would
why would
still
I
round
use-
up because
Uh.
when you do 3.14, it's 1,004.8.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, y'all just
I
don't
think
know how
someone
to
just
round.
didn't look at their calculator and just saw 1004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Dang,
Good
that changed.
What is the volume again?
No way, actually.
Hint: this answer doesn't use pi. Unlike the last two. You might have needed to hear that just in case.
It has to be even, so just think.
Actually, they rounded it to the nearest.
Guys, it's purple. Trust me.
Mhm,
Yeah,
so-
purple. It's blue.
Just-
It's blue and red. Okay, blue and red. Add them together. Just click them both at the same time.
Right.
I guessed. I can't win anymore. I'm in 9th place.
You never know. Everyone could just suck in math. For
Or
the
maybe
next-
the answer to this question is wrong.
Right.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint at 5 seconds to give you time to put it into your phone. You know,
Hint,
if you-
it's yellow.
no, okay, it's blue. It's blue. No, yeah, that's the
There are
hint.
some people who are relying on you, Ishani.
I mean, I feel like that's a bad decision on their part if they are.
Yeah, you
people
got
have,
10th
like,
Place. That's what I was always gonna do.
Who's
I
iPad.
wanted to get in
iPad?
10th place. iPad's dad, actually. It's a
Wow.
big great. I think so.
Okay, iPad. That's very helpful.
iPad is
Your
iPad-
name on here is iPad.
Garlic bread is like one of the best foods ever, and you cannot change my
Hey, bro,
mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know Texas toast, that's what I love to eat. I just love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No,
congratulations to
Texas
these
toast,
people.
not garlic bread.
Garlic
Texas
bread is
toast.
good.
What is Texas toast?
Exactly the same thing as garlic bread.
It is? Okay. I knew that 100%. Oh. Okay. So just a quick thing. So there's a fun activity you can do after class, right? You know, just
Oh, I
post a
did this
picture
in-
of it.
I did this in math class.
Right. Okay. So basically you can do this by class tomorrow, and you will get extra credit. So you have to do this, you have to print it out. The link to the template is here. Color it, fold it, and glue the tabs. If you don't have a printer, that's fine. You don't need to do this. This is just like 3 points, you know, it's not the end of the world. But yeah. Sure, I would like to know who your mom is. I would have never guessed
I feel
from
like
the
you
fact
should
that
have
you
seen
knew.
it coming.
Right, you know. Yeah, totally never knew that, or never could have guessed. Okay.
It can actually be anyone because everyone says your mom.
Right, but how would they